Welcome to Agenda Edina, a news program summarizing the actions taken at City Hall that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. A redevelopment will rise out of the demolition of a service station across the street from the Galleria Edina. A local developer has received approval for an office and retail building known as Phoenix Plaza on the site of an existing service station at 6996 France Avenue. The new building will include a 3,000 square foot retail space for Vitamin Shop and a 5,200 square foot office for Ameritrade.
If you notice in that area, all the other buildings historically had their parking lots in front and the buildings are behind. This is a first to break that pattern, actually build tight to the corner, have the entries featured off the corner, have the parking behind it. It's the beginning of creating a pedestrian zone there. It's really the first incremental step into what right now is a very heavy auto-oriented area.
In March, the City Council rezoned the property as a planned unit development and granted approval of the development plan. Demolition of the service station and construction of the new building is scheduled to begin later this month. Just down the street from the future site of Phoenix Plaza, another redevelopment is being considered. Lund Food Holdings is proposing to replace the existing Byerly store at 7171 France Avenue with a new 52,000 square foot supermarket with a 96-unit, 7-story apartment building on top. The development would also include a second 19,000 square foot retail building with a 67-unit apartment structure on top. Parking for the building would be below the retail space. Primary access to the site would be off Hazelton Road with a secondary access off France through the Macy's site to the south. Lund officials presented their sketch plans to the City Council earlier this month. Council members were generally supportive of the mixed-use redevelopment concept, but had some concerns about the site plan layout and the location of the proposed loading docks, which would be seen from the promenade. The council emphasized the importance of creating greater pedestrian connections to France Avenue and the promenade to support the Living Streets concept in the Southdale area. If Lund decides to pursue the development, they will seek a rezoning of the property to planned unit development from the Planning Commission and City Council. Unexpected high temperatures greened the grass, sprouted flowers, and brought people outside earlier this spring. Edina 16 Scott Denfeld went out recently to determine how record high temperatures have affected the city's parks and facilities and their bottom lines.
Weather in Minnesota is anything but predictable. But this past winter and spring has taken it to all new heights.
This winter, we were extremely busy because we had no snow on the ground.
And the effect of this year's unusually warm weather on Edina's parks and facilities is as significant as it is varied.
Over winter break, we broke records every day. I would say March is kind of when we've slowed down a little bit. Usually spring break time is pretty busy for us, but because the weather has gotten nicer, it's kind of been not quite the busy spring break that we're used to.
So, after a boost in business early, Edinboro Park has had to adjust to the ongoing results of the warmth outside.
Staff have been leaving early if it's pretty quiet.
Meanwhile, over at Braemar Golf Course, longtime head pro Joe Grupner has seen a spring unlike anything experienced in all his time at the golf course.
This is the earliest start we've ever had where we've actually had good weather. It's just been gorgeous weather right through the whole spring so far. It's amazing.
And due to hard work by the staff, golfers have been flocking to the course to enjoy the rare conditions. It's been a scramble start, but it's been fun because, you know, we're taking money in and so it's really worked out. But we've had to work hard to get it together. Edina's Centennial Lakes Park has seen a similar effect on both park conditions and staffing.
Usually we have 5 or 6 weeks between snow melt and everything really starts to grow. And this year it seemed like it happened in about a week to 10 days, and it's been really tough to keep up on.
And because they rely heavily on seasonal staff comprised primarily of students, they found themselves short-handed while waiting for school to end.
It's a little difficult now because the summer staff is all starting in May still, so we've got a little time between now and then, so there's a lot of work to be done, but very few people.
Ultimately, the warm weather has created conditions both challenging and rewarding for all of Edina's parks and facilities. But in the end, it was Joe who reminded us to enjoy it, because in Minnesota, you never know what's coming next.
Mother Nature is very fickle. You know, as good a start as this is, you just never know. This isn't necessarily says what summer's going to be. It's just we're getting it now, and we're happy we're getting it now, but the future is not ours. We're just taking what we have.
For Edina 16, I'm Scott Denfeld.
Though some of the city's parks and attractions opened early this year, the Edina Aquatic Center is still scheduled to open June 9th. Last month, Mayor Jim Hovland and Southdale Center helped children celebrate the 75th anniversary of Dr. Seuss' imagination. In mid-March, the mayor and other area celebrities read Dr. Seuss stories to children at the mall. The event also included an appearance by the Cat in the Hat and family activities. Thanks for watching this episode of Agenda Edina. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty.